Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are listening to KSFS San Francisco at beccamedia.net/KSFS. That being said, it's 7 p.m., top of the hour, and we all know what that means. It's time for another episode of Something Sporty.
Welcome. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, everybody. We hope your weeks are off to a great start.
Yes,
I am Erik, your co-host. I'm a co-host, I should say. And my other co-host, as always, the one, the only, the incomparable,
AKA Sid or Gian.
And let's start off by me asking, how was your weekend?
Weekend was actually phenomenal. It was pretty busy at work. Did some of my final projects, or at least essays, you could say. I did it early because I'm going to be busy in 2 weeks. So I'm just trying to finish it early. And I also took some of my grad pics with few of my friends.
Were you at UC Berkeley for that?
Yeah, I was at UC Berkeley because I have two of my close friends, one from Davis and one from UC Berkeley. And the best picture to take is UC Berkeley. The lighting is there, the field is in there, and we also had confetti and champagne. And then I literally sprayed myself on champagne. I was pointing, for some reason, supposed to be pointing in front of you, but I was like this and shaking, and everything was just sprayed on my face. So I was so drenched. So we took that picture or that shot last. So because we're drenched on champagne, and it's not even the small one; it's the huge one. So it's going forever. I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, it was fun, and it was kind of cold because it was around 5. So windy there, but it was sunny. The lighting is amazing. So hopefully, I can't wait to see the pictures. So yeah.
You're yet to see the final result?
Probably in 2 to 3 days. At least probably start editing it.
I see.
But yeah, I'm excited for pictures. I'm not really a photogenic guy. But both of having two best friends that are females, they love taking pictures, and I'm the only one usually taking the pictures for them. I'm now want to be one of it. So that's all.
Yeah.
This is just for memories.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do mine in around 2 weeks' time.
Oh, did you get your cap and gown?
I did, as a matter of fact.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you buy what package did you buy?
I got the regular
basic one?
Yeah, one of the regular packages with the diploma frame.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, with their second cheapest option, and that one, in my opinion, the frame is probably the nicest looking.
Yeah.
So.
Also, I was wondering. Okay, did you buy the rental one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So which one do you return? Do you return the stash? I know you have to return the gown, the gown, right?
Yeah, the gown you have to return, no
Yeah.
questions asked. But I think the cap and the
stash
and the stash, that too. I think you can keep that.
Oh yeah, that's what I was assuming too. Because there's some people that they can just get just a gown. They didn't buy the stash, like some of my classmates, and apparently they said if you already have one from your sister from previous year, you can use it because it's actually the same thing.
Yeah, and there's gonna be drop off boxes over at Oracle Park. So,
oh really? After?
From my understanding, but yeah.
Oh, that's pretty convenient.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't want to carry that thing. It's pretty freaking huge.
Right. Although my brother somehow still has his gown from when he graduated for UC Berkeley, but that's probably completely different as far as their rules go. But it's completely besides the point. Meanwhile, with my weekend, it was very hectic and also very bittersweet because it was my final track meet as a student athlete. Period.
Ooh,
that means both. Yeah, that means both high school and college. And I ran the 10K on Friday. It was the finals. In other words, there was only one heat of the 10K. It consisted of 15 guys, including me and my teammate. And I'm happy to share that I shattered my PR by 20 seconds.
Hey, let's go. Hey, there's a lot. 20 seconds? Crazy.
Yeah. I was emotional, to say the least.
Oh, yeah.
It was a long time coming for me to accomplish that. Just I wanted to PR and end my running career on a very high note, and I did exactly that.
And that's good. That's So you started running since high school?
Yes.
So that's 8 years, 9 years almost.
Well, it started exactly in November of 2015, and I've been running ever since.
Yeah.
So I didn't do cross country my freshman year of high school because I didn't really understand the concept of fall and spring sports at the time. So I started training in November of 2015, running on the treadmill, and then look where I am now, 7.5 years later, a student athlete.
Oh yeah.
A second generation student athlete on my dad's side.
Oh, hey, it runs in the family, huh?
Well,
Kind of.
to clarify, he did like football and track, shot put to be exact, and then he played football at CU Boulder, University of Colorado.
Oh, okay, got it.
To clarify, and I ended up being the only one of my three brothers to be a student athlete at the collegiate level.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And I'm a first generation on my mom's side. So yeah, it's something.
Yep, hell yeah. Hate to say it's our last semester.
Yeah.
We're graduating literally in like 20 something days, or probably.
Or less than that. We have 18 days.
18 days.
18 days.
18 days.
Oh my god. It's getting increasingly bittersweet as we know it, Gian.
I know. I still remember our first day from last semester being at a radio class, and now look at us for our last semester.
And we have 3 episodes left of this series.
Yes, basically.
But we'll save the dramatics for a later time.
Yep.
But for now, we have bigger fish to fry. First, we'll start off, as always, with shouting out our teams.
Let's go.
First up, we have baseball. They recently took on the Sonoma State Seawolves in their final series matchup of the season before the postseason. So in the first game on Friday, the Seawolves had runners on second and third with 1 out. They had back-to-back pass balls, which allowed both runners to come home. With runners on the corners and 1 out, the Gators got the runner at first out, but allowed another run to score. Gonzalez hit a 2-out double in the top of the 8th, and Santos hit an RBI single to finally get on the board and cut the lead to 4-1. The Seawolves put up another 3 spot in the bottom of the 8th and took a 7-1 lead going into the 9th. Derek LaFeria represented the Gators' best chance of scoring another run, but the Seawolves robbed him of a home run and caught the ball for an out just over the fence. And now on to the next game. In the first game of their doubleheader the following day, the Gators were connecting with the ball early, but mainly hit singles and hit into a pair of double plays in the first 5 innings alone. Later on, Cunningham launched a home run for the Gators' only but most impactful extra base hit of the game. After Sonoma got a runner advanced to third in the bottom of the 8th, Nathan Shin struck out the next batter and gave up a 2-out walk to put runners on the corner, and then got a ground out at the next at-bat to keep the Seawolves scoreless. Game 2 of the doubleheader, best opportunity to score, came in the first inning when Gonzalez singled and Daniel Santos followed with a walk with 1 out. Back-to-back flyouts ended the inning for the Gators. Brody Aglite, who took a perfect game into the 4th inning, planked a pair of runners before giving up his first hit of the day, a home run. Aglite went 5 innings, only giving up 2 hits, with 1 being a home run. He tossed 5 strikeouts as well.
Whoa.
Mario Vargas pitched an inning in relief, giving up a hit and a walk while tossing a strikeout in a scoreless inning of work. Now on to the Sunday game, the final game of the season. Upstill got an RBI triple to give the Gators the first run of the game after a good first inning. The Gators gave up 7 runs off of 8 hits through the next 2 innings. An eventual error by Justice Naragi allowed a run to score in the 6th inning, making the lead 9-1. Caleb Chance, that is, hit an RBI single to give the Gators multiple runs for the first time this series. In the 8th, Cody Gardner singled down the right field line with runners on the corners to bring 1 in. A.J. Schrader doubled to plate another, and a sac fly from LaFerrier cut the deficit to 9-5. A passed ball with bases loaded in the bottom of the 8th allowed a run to score and gave the Seawolves a 10-5 heading into the final inning. Sonoma retired the side to end the game. And the Gators are in the playoffs. They are in the CCAA tournament as later this week they will take on the number 4 seed Cal Poly Pomona Broncos.
Sheesh.
And now on to track and field. We've had a very busy weekend because, as mentioned earlier, we recently had CCAA, our conference championship, over at Cal State San Marcos. Makaria Moore-Bastide, Amy Christensen, and Maddie Cecilio all reached the podium, with Moore-Bastide and Christensen winning their respective events. The Gators finished in 6th with 63 points, just 3.75 points off of 5th place at Stanislaus State. Christensen posted a new personal best with a mark of 3.89 meters. And mind you, she already owns a school record, which was, and it was 0.07 off of tying the meet record, literally 0.07 meters. Moore-Bastide was close to being joined by teammate Sabrina Carapara on the podium for the high jump. Carapara had a personal best of 1.56 meters and took 4th due to faulting on her first jump at 1.48 meters. Maddie Cecilio led a strong triple jumper contingent that placed 3 Gators in the top 8. Essence Jackson and Desiree Smith placed 5th and 6th to also earn points at the championships. And in the 100 meter dash, the times are as Lamaya George got 12.03 seconds. In the 400 meter, Dami Oyatayo got 1 minute 0.68 seconds. In the 5K, Annika Pettinger had an 18:21.40. In the pole vault, as mentioned, Christensen had 3.89 meters. In the high jump, Makaria had 1.72 meters. 1.56 meters for Sabrina. In the triple jump, 11.99 meters for Maddie Cecilio, 11.23 meters for Essence Jackson, 11.03 meters for Desiree Smith, and 10.57 meters for Evelyn Contreras. Now on to the men's 3K steeplechase. Jose Torres ran a 10:02.10, an over 30-second improvement from his previous top time in that race. And in my final race as a Gator, I crossed with a time of 32 minutes and 49.42 seconds. And in the 800 meter, Evan Jackson ran a 159.48. And earlier in the day, Evan ran a 409.8 for the 1500 meter. And the next day, for the 5K, Evan Jackson finished his career well with a strong 5K performance with a time of 15 minutes and 13.8
Holy
seconds.
shit, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he definitely surprised me, and I can happily say that both me and him ended our careers on a very, very high note.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah. And as for Gary Vaya, he finished with a 17-minute 5K. And for Joey Manahan, my other teammate who ran the 10K on Friday, ran a 34:38.68. And now for a few other Gators, they will compete over at Azusa Pacific University for their last chance meets. That's happening May 12th to the 13th to try and secure a ticket to the NCAA championships.
Ooh.
Also, it was announced earlier today that Amy Christensen and Makaria Moore-Bastide won Gator of the Week for being named CCAA champions in pole vault and the high jump, respectively.
Okay, that's pretty good for them.
Yeah. And now on to, sorry, I'm looking at my notes right now. Let's look at Canelo Alvarez versus John Ryder.
Oh.
Their fight recently happened on what is it? This past Saturday.
I think so. Like, yes.
Yeah. In Canelo's hometown of Guadalajara, Mexico. Like it at I think it was Akron Stadium. Out of like thousands of people, like maybe hundreds of thousands of people, and he and Canelo had a spectacular entrance with men holding up electric flags with like his logo on it, and it was like a whole dance number too, choreographed. It was crazy. Oh, and on top of that, fireworks, full on fireworks.
Hey, that's his hometown. Gotta represent it, you know.
Yeah, but still, that's incredible.
How about the opposing side? It's like nothing. Just song.
Probably, but it's probably a little special given like I can't even describe it. It's hard to describe. It's like just a lot of spectacle, I guess, at the stadium. But for Canelo, he also had a 150-member mariachi band playing his entrance music.
That is crazy.
As he donned a crown too, as he walked down the runway to the ring.
150?
Well, yeah.
Crazy.
That's what the commentator said when I was watching highlights of just like that fight night.
That's the whole parade at that point.
Yeah, like they were making something truly special.
Yeah, for Canelo.
So I blanked out. I'm sorry. Alvarez promised his hometown that they would see a knockout, but that would come early though. Early on in the fight, as he landed a right hand that dropped John Ryder, but he barely made the count.
Oh, so it didn't really count as a knockout?
I mean, technically it was. I mean, he did knock down his guy, but he didn't promise
like a KO, right?
But it wasn't a KO victory.
Okay.
Yeah, but that ended up being the only knockdown or knockout for Alvarez that night, surprisingly.
Oh, how long did the game? How many rounds did it went through?
All 12.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
Damn, that's pretty long.
Yeah. So from a CBS Sports article describing the fight, it said, quote, "One of the biggest changes Ryder made to survive the remaining rounds was to fall back to his jab. When Ryder was able to pump the jab out, it threw off Alvarez's timing. When Alvarez would begin to get it rolling offensively, Ryder would push in and smother the attack. It wasn't necessarily a strategy that would win him the fight, but it did give Ryder something of a moral victory in surviving to the final bell. The champion's dominance was on display on the final scorecards, with the official scorecards reading 120 to 107, 118 109, and 118 109 again, all of which, of course, in Alvarez's favor. While not scoring a knockout in his return to his hometown may have stung, Alvarez maintained that he was content with the way the fight played out, saying, "It's a historic moment for me," Alvarez said after the fight. "I'm blessed to be out here with my people who support me from the beginning. I'm proud to be here. You know, I'm happy with the fight. I'm happy the people had a great time or had a great fight. He's a strong fighter. I know that. I'm not surprised about it." Canelo gets the end quote. Canelo gets a unanimous decision victory in front of his hometown fans, and of course the two men showed nothing but respect to each other after the fight.
Damn, I wish I watched the fight at least.
Yeah, and he's still showing that he's basically the face of boxing. After Gervonta Davis said that he was the face of boxing.
Yeah, that's what I was like, I should have just watched that rather than that fight.
Yeah, so I saw this one post that Gervonta said following his fight that he was the face of boxing, and then Canelo responded, "I'm not retired."
Hey, that is true. Yeah, like I'm still here. Do you forget who got the most belts right now?
Canelo.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was like. Because Davis, does Davis have belts?
Not that I know.
That's what I was talking to. Usually, there's also another guy, I think around the same weight as Tank Davis. But he also have belts. But he also have a good record too. I think it's like 29-1. I forgot his name. But I think that's what's the next fight.
No, it's not Ryan Garcia.
It's not Ryan Garcia, but Tank. He's gonna fight Tank, but I forgot the name. But he has all the belt, too, for his weight, his division, or like what is Tank is again? 135, I think so.
I have no idea. I think him and Canelo are in different weight classes.
Oh, okay. But I think, of course, Canelo is still the face, bro. Before it was Mayweather, and then, it's Manny Pacquiao, and then Mayweather, and then who else happened?
I mean, Mayweather's been the face of boxing for like all of 2000s, really.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, basically.
Well, at least in my opinion, and through like the at least the early 2010s.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and he fought Canelo too early on in Canelo's career. He got the, I think it was some kind of decision victory. It was either that or it was a TKO victory.
Oh, okay. Oh, I have to look it up.
But that matchup was like 10 years ago.
Oh damn, yeah.
So
Canelo was still starting in that time.
Yeah, Yeah, he was still like very young at his time, and now Canelo was the face of boxing. And I mean, he's probably, or Gervonta Davis is probably the face of his division at the very least.
Yes, at least.
That I can agree with. But the face of the sport itself? Although, to play devil's advocate, he has a better record than Canelo.
Yeah.
Mind you, Canelo has only one loss under his belt.
And this from Mayweather, huh?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
But, I mean, for Canelo, he's a far more known boxer globally than Gervonta Davis is.
I don't even know where Gervonta Davis was until like everyone started posting the hype fight.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how old Gervonta Davis is. Maybe he's like 20-something, maybe 30-something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's beyond me.
Yeah.
So. And now, on to the wild world of the NBA.
Ooh.
But before we dive into the playoffs itself, let's talk about Dillion Brooks.
Oh my God! Hey! You know the dance? What dance do they think?
Oh yeah. So for those who don't know,
yes.
So the day after our last episode aired, Bleacher Report announced that Dillion Brooks is most likely leaving the Grizzlies after this.
Yes, and I think he's gonna play for some international team. I think so.
Well, that's what all the memes are saying. Yeah. They're pointing to him going over to the Shanghai Sharks basketball team.
Oh yeah, I heard that. And then the funny part too, I think the Grizzly said that announcement when he was on vacation.
Oh.
Yeah, he was not on state. He was like either Bahamas somewhere when they said that. Oh yeah, it was pretty bad. They sent him to the vacation and announced the worst thing that he could hear.
Oh, no.
That's so bad. It's like I don't even know how that feels. You just ruined your whole vacation if you hear that.
That hurts my soul.
Yeah. And there's like what is the tweet that they said? They're like, oh, we're announcing that Gervonta Davis we're not gonna be coming back from whatever, or he's getting let go by like the Grizzly. That tweet, I was like, imagine you seeing that in your vacation. I'm like, oh, you getting a call in your vacation? I would have just like go back early at that point.
Yeah. So Shams Charania, I think that's how you pronounce it. He reported last week that he would not be back with the Grizzlies under any circumstances.
Damn.
However, Mike George, who is Dillion Brooks' agent, called out Shams for the report, and he said, according to a Sports Illustrated article, wrote, Shams Charania, the leader of spreading false news and attacking players. Why any player in the league talks to this guy blows my mind, end quote. If he indeed ends up becoming a free agent, I think he would be a best fit with the Knicks. Because, like, not only are the Knicks, like, a young, promising team, and they could probably humble Dillion Brooks, too. And not to mention the Knicks have a decent amount of playoff experience by now.
Yeah.
Maybe or maybe not more than Ja Morant himself, but and most importantly, the trash talking.
Oh my God. There's one video, I think he was in like on the face of LeBron, and he was just like talking like mad shit, and he was even kissing the ball. I'm like there's like his face is on the ball, and like the amount of like trash talking that he did on like the first, you know how if you get LeBron mad on the first half, he go off in the last three, and that's literally what happened. That's why they lost on like game, I think 4, I believe so. They're like and he was telling them about like I don't respect no one if they put me on 50 or something like that. Was it like that? Something like that. But,
something on those lines.
Yeah. And then look what happened.
So he would fit in perfectly with the fans because New York Knicks fans are notorious trash talkers and they're extremely toxic too. Have you seen the YouTube channel Side Talk?
No.
So basically, it records. They upload videos of Knicks fans that are just going ballistic off of whatever recent game that happened, including Trae Young.
Oh my God.
Oh, they were just cussing out Trae Young so much and insulting him left and right. And my personal favorite one, there was like 3 or 4 Knicks fans. The first one says, "Is Trae Young valid?" And then the other 3 say, and perfectly or in sync, "No!" And then so.
If you're imagine you're a player and you hear that, and like it will throw you off. Like mostly if they're really close on the court side too, you'll definitely freaking like make you look. At least if you're a player, because there's 3 people yelling your name and like getting roasted while you're playing the game. But hey, that's a good thing. Hey, Dillion Brooks, take notes. You might go to the next season.
I mean, he's gonna be a free agent regardless. So, but that's my take on where he may go. But I don't know what you think.
I mean, I don't really know him like that. I just know him by he have a big mouth. So we'll see if who's gonna accept him for like what teams, So
yeah, we'll see if his arrogance like doesn't really get in the way of his career after what happened throughout this playoffs. Like, I mean, this should be a very humbling experience for Brooks.
Because remember, if you're playing for a team, you're representing that name, and you don't want to ruin that. Ruin that because you don't want a NBA player or a team like an NBA team to have like a really trash talk star. You don't want that because you're representing their name. Their number. You're basically like the whole city's basketball. So it's gonna be hard for him to like even get a deal if he's doing all those stuff.
Right. Oh, and more on the Grizzlies. All with everything with the Grizzlies. Polo G, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he did a collab with this rapper named Sleazy World Go. And they recently released a music video for their song called Off the Court. And Polo G straight up recreated Ja Morant's infamous IG Live.
Oh, my God. The one with the gun? That he got banned? Oh, my God.
Yeah, and his lyrics for that part were, I got my stick up in the club like Ja.
Oh, damn. Hey. If Polo G raps about you, hey, that's something else.
Yeah, and oh my God, Ja Morant, he's never going to hear the end of this.
Yeah, it's going to be stuck there. And Polo G is a pretty freaking popular.
Yeah, he's a great and like you said, popular artist.
Yeah, he can start playing that on the fucking games.
Okay, they're wait, at the Grizzlies?
No, not at the Grizzlies, but different teams. Like if they're playing against like a different team, they might play that song. But if you've been to a basketball team,
I know what you're saying. But like, maybe like away games where like the other team could probably like play that part to troll Ja Morant.
Yeah, I would play that if I was the DJ for that event. I would play that definitely.
Man, I was not expecting that at all. I'm like, oh my God, there is no way that Polo G did this.
Yeah, and he rapped about it, and I'm pretty sure that's everyone. The moment that everyone hears that, and they're like, oh shoot.
Yeah, and mind you, he basically recreated it in that music video too.
Yeah.
So
he's like, that's freaking. Now I'm gonna check out the music video later. But
man,
okay.
Yeah, he's not gonna hear the end of it, even though he apologized for what he did.
Mm-hmm.
And now on to I found an interesting post on Instagram where they compared NFL to NBA players and vice versa. So yeah, they compared NBA players to their possible NFL counterparts. So they compared LeBron to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
They're both considered the GOAT in their respective teams, even though I beg to differ. Michael Jordan. Anyways, Kyrie is compared to Antonio Brown, AB. They're extremely talented athletes that can't get it together, unfortunately, for various reasons. Russell Westbrook got compared to Cam Newton, who were absolute ballers in the peak of their career, but that peak came and went.
Yeah.
And Curry is getting compared to Mahomes. Both are flashy players that revolutionized their respective games.
Okay, that one kind of makes sense.
I can actually agree with that.
That one I definitely agree.
Yeah, both are the faces of their respective franchises, and arguably the face of Steph Curry and Patrick Mahomes are arguably like the face of the NBA and the NFL, respectively.
Yeah.
So, and they have massive contracts too.
Yeah, their contract is just insane.
And they're just showing up on House of Highlights and Bleacher Report, ESPN, Sports Center every day.
Yep.
When they play, that is.
Yep.
And Dirk Nowitzki, the tall baller from the G, gets compared to Eli Manning. They were both a part of teams that, one, donned blue jersey colors.
Oh, okay.
And they pulled off massive upsets against GOATs. Specifically for Dirk Nowitzki, he upsetted the Miami Heat team that consisted of LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh in 2011, making for one of the biggest upsets in NBA Finals history.
But Dirk Nowitzki was a GOAT. My dad was getting mad because he's a Miami fan.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then he was like, "No way, this guy you can just freaking turn around, shoot, and makes it like it was like nothing." And like,
yeah, his fadeaway.
Yeah,
his one of the most
iconic.
Iconic, absolutely, and one of the most unstoppable moves the NBA has ever seen.
And the funny part too, he moves like he's like tall. He's like 6.
He's 7 foot.
Yeah, 7 foot, but he moves like he like 6'2" or something.
And that guy can ball, dude.
Yeah,
he can shoot threes as well.
Yeah,
and he is one of my favorite non-Warriors players ever.
Ooh. Yeah,
I loved watching his highlights.
Mostly his this iconic shot when he just turned and just shoot and like, oh my god, it was like, and he always had the best like either like on the clock, like, you know, just shooting. When I was watching him playing the Miami Heat, because he's against with almost the big three of Chris Bosh, you know, and like LeBron and them. But yeah, but when they won that, he deserved that MVP guarantee.
Yeah, Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah,
Finals MVP.
Yeah,
I mean, they were the overwhelming favorites in 2007 to win the NBA title, but then got upset by the We Believe Warriors.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the 1 seed, 8th seed upsets in NBA history.
Damn.
Yeah. But Dirk Nowitzki was able to redeem himself 4 years later, and then he eventually got his jersey retired, and he has a statue outside the American Airlines Center, I think. I've gotten Miami Heat's and Dallas's arena names mixed up because they're both sponsored by American Airlines, so I need to figure out which one belongs to which. So, I mean, the Miami Heat arena has like a new arena name now, but it's beyond me. But that's completely besides the point. And then now back to the comparisons. There is Ja Morant getting compared to Justin Jefferson because young superstars. They both are young superstars, and they're constantly making ridiculous highlight plays. And they're both absolute ballers in their respective sport. And then last but not least, Dillion Brooks getting compared to Eli Apple. Why? Because they're both trash talkers who can't back up anything they say.
Oh, wait. That should be like what's that called? A
roast?
Yeah, it's a roast. Definitely a roast. Yeah, a big roast. Like, you know what they said? Is it like all bark, no bite? Or
yeah, all bark but no bite. Exactly. Do you agree with any of these comparisons?
No, I agreed with the Stephen Curry one. I agreed with like the Dillion Brooks one. Those two.
Well, you don't really agree with the Dirk and Eli Manning comparison?
Oh, I mean, I don't know Eli like that. But,
fair enough.
Yeah. So, but if probably I look up more of him, then probably. But I know Dirk really well.
Okay. Now on to, while sticking to the topic of football, remember Nick Foles?
Well, which one?
He was a quarterback for the Eagles back in 2018. He's been going through some bizarre circumstances. Like, he went from one of the biggest names in the NFL to now a quarterback that fell off, really. So he nearly retired in 2016 before, this is from, all this information I'm about to say is from an Instagram post by CBS Sports. He nearly retired in 2016 before winning the Super Bowl after falling out of love with the game. He was traded and replaced by the team he won the Super Bowl for, the Eagles. He didn't win a single game with Jacksonville after signing an $88 million deal and was 8-18 as a starting quarterback for teams not named the Philadelphia Eagles. He has more playoff victories than Warren Moon and Cam Newton, and both of them have 3 wins each. Throughout the years, there were some quarterbacks who beat Foles for a starting job, such as the fan favorite Gardner Minshew for the Jags in 2019, Mitch Trubisky for the 2020 Bears, who helped the Bears get to the playoffs in 2019, I think. Okay. And Andy Dalton for the 2021 Bears, and Sam Ellinger for last year's Colts team. The team that he was a part of last year, and now he's a free agent, just wondering where he will go next after being released from the Colts on Friday.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate time for Foles. Like, he was what he did for the Eagles was undeniably special.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. It's like the same thing that Brock Purdy eventually did for the 49ers years later.
Yeah.
But that role that Foles did was arguably even bigger, more vital for the franchise, because they were trying to get their first Super Bowl ring at the time.
Yeah.
And the Eagles, they lost their biggest their most important aspect in the form of Carson Wentz.
Ooh.
And then Nick Foles came in and stepped up, and the rest was history.
Yeah.
So,
man.
Yeah, I actually kind of feel bad for Foles given where he is now.
Yeah, he did all that work, and then he got traded by that team.
Yeah, and now his stats have just
going downhill.
They're just dropping.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah.
It does.
He used to be a face of NFL, and then he just went what?
Well, I wouldn't call him the face of the NFL per se.
I mean, at least when
he won. He was undeniably the biggest underdog. He had one of the greatest underdog stories probably for any sport ever.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I hopefully he'll get it figured out, and maybe a team will pick it up, and maybe he'll turn things around. We'll see.
It's not too late.
Right. And now on to the playoffs, the chaotic world of the NBA playoffs. So much has happened already between episodes of Something Sporty.
Yes.
So we're already 3 games down between the Lakers and the Warriors.
Yes.
Anthony Davis in game 1 of that series dropped a 30-point, 20-rebound double-double, and he was the first Laker since Shaq in 2001 or 2002 or something like that.
Yeah.
But regardless, the first player since Shaq to drop a 30-20 double-double in the 117-112 victory for the Lakers in game 1.
Yes.
But despite that loss, Curry dropped 27 points. Clay had 25, and Kevon Looney had a career-high 23 rebounds for his 4th game of this postseason with 20 or more.
That's crazy.
Game 2, meanwhile, it was downright dominant, with the Warriors getting the win 127-100.
Yeah, that was an insane game.
And Clay's dream came true, where he went off against the Lakers. He always wanted to play for a team against his father's team, the Lakers.
Oh, okay.
It was Michael Thompson, I think that was his father's name, that played for the Lakers decades ago. But he finally got his moment. He dropped 30 points with 8 3-pointers made as the Dubs locked down on Davis and allowing James to drop only 23 points, a fitting number if you ask me. And Curry had 20 points and 12 assists as he and Clay helped Golden State. And according to ESPN, They helped Golden State make 21 or more three-pointers, giving the Warriors an NBA record for most in the first 2 games of a playoff series at 42. LeBron James's Cavaliers hit 40 against Atlanta in the 2016 second round.
Oh.
At Game 3, it was opposite day.
Yes.
As the Lakers blew out the Warriors on Saturday. However, oddly enough, again per ESPN, quote, LeBron James didn't take a shot in the first quarter of Game 3 for the first time in his NBA record 275 playoff appearances. And the Lakers' home crowd rumbled with mild uncertainty each time he passed the ball instead. Yeah. End quote. They ended up smoking the Warriors. Anthony Davis, 25 points, 13 rebounds. A slow-starting James finished with 21 points, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds.
Yeah.
D'Angelo Russell hit 5 3-pointers while scoring 21 points for the 7-seeded Lakers, who remained unbeaten at home in the postseason.
Yeah, bro. He was going off.
Oh, wow.
No one could stop him in that time. I was like, oh, ice on my veins, my boy. Even though I don't even like Lakers like that, but like
Okay, but, yeah. That's actually a red flag that they're unbeaten at home. I just had an epiphany now.
But on Game 3 they were, what was it? Yeah, they got destroyed. But I think after Game 2, when Lakers got they got destroyed, I think they tweaked something out, same thing as Warriors did. That's why they won that Game 2. They did some changes. Probably that's why LeBron was passing a lot. AD doing most of the work, and so probably it's like the same things today. They made changes. They made for Warriors. Hopefully Warriors at least win this one, so they're not gonna be down to 3-1.
Yeah. Speaking of which, check the score right now. The game's going on as we speak.
Yes. They started at 7, by the way, guys.
Yeah. So it is currently 7:42. So the game started 42 minutes ago.
Yep. It's on second quarter we still have 10 minutes on the clock, and 29 on Warriors and 26 in Lakers.
Who's the leading scorer right now, if you know?
Let me see. So right now for Warriors is Curry have 7, Wiggins have 7 also.
Okay.
Curry have 4 rebounds already. Crazy. And then Lakers is Anthony Davis with 8 points, and LeBron James with 6, and Austin Reeves have 4, and
fan favorite Reeves.
Yep. And it's still pretty. It's a pretty close game. Usually, I think the most I see is for Warriors. They either, if you lose the first half, you definitely need to either come back on the second half, because that's what happened to the Warriors in game Lakers versus Warriors in the Game 2. They were like 47, 46,
right?
And then second half came, and then Warriors just start making threes back to back, and they were like up by 15 and then 20 for Game 2. But the same.
Well, mind you, that was a home game for the Warriors.
Yeah.
And the Lakers right now, 1, they're unbeaten at home, and 2, the Warriors had a bad away record during the regular season.
Yeah.
That said, the Lakers have a huge advantage
right now
going into Game 4. So it's basically a red flag for the Warriors, if you ask me.
Yeah. But you never know. Steph Curry might go off. Clay might go off.
True.
Wiggins looking pretty good. I think he's gonna play a good amount of minutes this Game 2. I think so.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how this goes. We'll see if the Warriors will be able to make up for their 19 turnovers that they committed in Game 3.
I know, that was crazy.
Yeah, that blowout was awful.
Yeah, when I think all the bench people started playing around like fourth quarter of 8 minutes, I think so. It was mostly bench people after that.
Oh
yeah, they were so behind, like not even worth trying.
Yeah, yeah, at that rate, I hate to say it, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I just don't blame them.
Yeah, I'd rather have like our freaking all-star players sit down and get some rest rather than get injured on that few minutes. But yeah.
Now on to another exciting series. We have the Suns versus the Nuggets.
Oh,
That has been a fun series. 4 games into this series. It's all tied up at 2 games apiece. I'm not sure if they're playing tonight, but they should be playing
tomorrow.
If not tonight. Game 1 saw Kevin Durant dropped a 29-point, 14-rebound double-double, while Booker dropped 27 against Murray, who scored 34 points, hitting 6 of Denver's 16 three-pointers, as the Nuggets dominated against the Suns 125-107 on Saturday night.
Yep. Like literally yesterday.
Yeah. Jokic had a 24-19 double-double, while Aaron Gordon finished with 23 points. But it was Jamal Murray once again, where he went 6 of 10 from the 3 and frequently exhorted for more noise from the already crazy crowd. Now with Game 2, Jokic dropped 39 points and 16 rebounds on the eve of the NBA MVP announcement. More on that in a moment. To rally the Nuggets to a 97-87 win over Phoenix on Monday night, giving them the 2-0 lead over the Suns. Devin Booker led Phoenix with 35 points, and Kevin Durant added 24. But they combined to miss a whopping 32 shots, including 14 from long-range 3.
Oh, that's a lot.
CP3 left the game with a tight right groin, and he was ruled out for he was actually ruled out for Game 4 too. It was announced earlier today.
Damn.
Devin Booker carried a massive offensive load in Game 3, averaging more than 35 points per game, despite defenders locked in all over him in most games. Booker scored 47 points in that game. KD added 39, and the Suns beat the Nuggets 121-114 to cut Denver's lead 2-1 in the series.
Yeah.
Now, Game 4, Denver locked down on KD and Booker, who were the Suns' best scorers. But guess who stepped up?
Who?
Landry Shamet.
Sheesh.
He stepped up with the Suns. He stepped up for the Suns with their season on the line. He made 4 big three-pointers in the final period. Booker and Durant scored 36 points, and the Suns beat the Nuggets 129-124 to even the series up at 2 games apiece.
Yeah.
Booker finished with a playoff career-high 12 assists, including a few to Shamet, who finished with 19 points on 5 of 8 shooting from 3. He had 14 points the entire postseason before that game.
Oh, okay.
Jokic poured in 53 points despite the loss.
Jesus Christ, he was hungry for sure.
Oh, yeah.
53.
He is balling out in his own right. And he used physical play to knock down big buckets, even ripping the ball away from Matt Ishiba.
Is it the owner?
Yeah, he's the owner of the Suns.
Did he get, is it not?
Jokic got a technical.
Yeah.
And Ishbia announced earlier that he's not going to be getting Jokic suspended at all. It's like, he's like, yeah, it's whatever. Let's have a good time.
Yeah.
Let's not hinder the situation. Let's not make it pretty bad. Let's not make it even worse.
Yeah.
But that's fair. I respect that from him. Just keep the playoff series going. It's a very exciting series.
Yeah. And these two are amazing teams, and I was surprised that I thought this two is gonna be back to back. They're tie game right now, so we'll see what's Game 5 tomorrow. Is it probably tomorrow, right?
It is tomorrow. Yeah, I mean you confirmed that yourself.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of amazing, Booker over his first 8 playoff games, he's been averaging over 35 points per game. He's the first player since Michael Jordan, and he joined him in the first 9 NBA games in a single postseason since the 1976-77 merger, as Booker currently has 331 points, while MJ has the other top 3 in 1989 with 335 points, 1988 with 338 points, and in 1990 362 points. So he joins Michael Jordan in both categories. Devin Booker has been on a roll with Michael Jordan. So, and some are suggesting that he's been performing better than MJ in said circumstances.
I mean, back then, I would say, yeah, you can compare it, but I think back then they only have 5 games back then. They don't go to up to 6 games, right?
Well, that was for the opening round, I think. but all the other rounds were best of 7,
Okay.
including, of course, the NBA Finals.
But it's a new generation. I think it is a good I mean, you can compare like Michael Jordan to Devin Booker, but I would say what what Curry changed from the NBA is just amazing because he completely changed how the NBA sometimes the amount of trees that they do. Like there's a podcast, I think, with Shaq and everything, and they said how Curry changed how NBA was. And there's one also like I forgot his name. Also, he said before.
Is it Ernie Johnson?
I think so. When it's like a podcast.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that one. I was listening to that. It was pretty. It kind of makes sense what Curry did.
Yeah. So like, what's the correlation with that and Devin Booker's performance?
I mean, they're just how they're trying to compare today's basketball to the old ones, and I said it difference. I would say you can't really compare them because it's different. Compare skills, but like playing wise, I think you can't really compare like an old style and the new style, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's not really any right or wrong answer.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
As to like which one's more effective.
Yeah,
I guess. But yeah, so Devin Booker has been on a roll, and people are going to be calling Booker now GOAT. Booker's the GOAT.
Booker's like.
But at the same time, I can also probably understand why they would want to call him the GOAT because of how he's been performing well this series.
35 averaging? That's crazy.
So imagine the Suns go all the way to the NBA Finals, and Booker has been putting up those kind of numbers.
Yeah.
Like, that's not Michael Jordan numbers. Those are, like, Wilt Chamberlain numbers. Yeah. But we'll see how that goes. But for now, let's go to the New York Knicks versus the Miami Heat.
Ooh, I think, is it today's? I think they played today. Yeah.
So in Game 2, Jalen Brunson took the blame when the Knicks dropped the opening game of the series, and he insisted that he got to be better in Game 2, and he did step up. He dropped 30 points last Tuesday night and helped the Knicks with their run as they got the 111-105 victory over a Miami Heat team that didn't have Jimmy Butler. Randall returned from a sprained left ankle that sidelined him in Game 1. He dropped 25 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists. R.J. Barrett scored 16 of his 24 points in the first quarter for the Knicks. Josh Hart had 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists. Caleb Martin scored 22 points in place of Butler for the Heat, who hosted Game 3. They hope to have Butler. Game 3 rolled around. It was one of the worst shooting games of the season for the Heat by far. 39% from the field, 22% from 3. Jeez. Barely 50% on usually easy shots at the rim, but that didn't matter as the Miami Heat's defense more than made up for it as they got the big win over the Knicks 105-86. Let's see. Butler did return from his sprained right ankle to drop 28 points. Strus added 19, and the Heat topped the New York Knicks in that game to make a 2-1 lead in the series. Jalen Brunson scored 20 for New York, which got 15 from Josh Hart, 14 from R.J. Barrett, and 12 from Emmanuel Quickly, who left midway through the fourth quarter after spraining an ankle that will be evaluated again Sunday, or this past Sunday. I'm not sure what the status is now as far as that goes. Yeah. And now, arguably the most exciting series in this playoff so far. Boston versus Philly. So much
happening.
So much has happened just from this series alone. In Game 1, Harden made a huge step-back three-pointer amongst his 45 points that he scored in Game 1. He hit that three-pointer over Al Horford with 8.7 seconds left. That sealed the deal for the 76ers in Game 1. As for Game 2, Jaylen Brown scored 25 points, and the Celtics rolled past Philadelphia 121-87 on Wednesday night to even the series up. Spoiled the return of the then-announced MVP, Joel Embiid. That's right. He won MVP.
Who said? Did we? I forgot. Was it in
20? or 2022, 2030.
Ben,
Excuse me.
I think it was in Ben when we or your brother when we told him who's gonna be MVP.
Oh yeah, Jerry.
Jerry. I think Jerry said he was gonna be MVP or we did. Embiid. I think I said Embiid.
Okay, yeah. I'll check in with him
next
on
time.
that for confirmation.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, the Celtics tied the series at 1 apiece as the series shifted to Philadelphia for Game 3. Boston ratcheted up its defense and limited 76ers team that hit 17 3-pointers in Game 1 to win just 6 of 30 from beyond the arc on Wednesday. The Celtics led by as many as 36 points in the fourth quarter. In Game 3, much like the Celtics after a Game 1 debacle, a shaken Caleb Williams absorbed the beating. By that, I meant that Embiid curb stomped him.
Oh, yes. I seen that video, and I think his whole lip was, like, bleeding.
Yeah, and his nose looked like...
yeah, busted.
Yeah, it looked ugly, but apparently it was, like, a complete accident.
Yeah, it was an accident. I think he when... I'm not sure who was the other one player failed, and he tripped, and he was trying not to stomp him, but he ended up stomping,
Yeah, it was an ugly sight.
Yeah, I saw like a clip of the video when they were trying to fix the.
Yeah, I mean, at least it wasn't like accidental or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah. Tatum scored 27 points in that game. Jalen Brown at 23, and they beated Embiid's MVP coronation night, beating the Sixers 114-102 to take a 2-1 lead. And then Williams was like, "Dang, I really got curb stomped." And I quote,
I like how he said, "Damn."
I'm just thankful he didn't like fully just lean his weight onto it.
Yeah.
He definitely got me pretty badly, but then I think he felt that he landed on something, so he picked his foot up. It hurts a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it sounded like he did give him the benefit of the doubt.
If you see the video too, I think he noticed it and he tried like lifting his foot up more.
Yeah. Yeah, but Embiid had a 30-point, 30-rebound double-double night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in Game 4, Harden invited John Howe, who was he was one of the survivors of the Michigan State shooting, and he developed a long-distance bond with Harden after FaceTiming him in the hospital.
Oh yeah, I've seen that clip.
Yeah, and Harden invited him to watch a game with him as soon as he was able to travel again.
Hey,
so I mean, as much as I hate Harden, I give him mad props for that.
That's like
Harden won my respect for that one. So, and he performed for his performance was for Howe, he said. And he promised he would be with this guy every step of the way.
A lot of respect for him.
Yeah, it was an insane back and forth game, and Harden was like the hero of that game. Harden hit like a huge 3 in overtime to seal the deal. But in the final seconds, Marcus Smart hit a 3, but that 3 didn't count. Like it went off, like he got the shot off after the buzzer.
That sucks.
Yeah, but the Sixers keep the series alive, and my prediction alive too. Well, keep it in mind of the MVP situation given the current pattern. It's hot take time. I'm predicting it's a year in advance. I believe that Embiid will go back-to-back once again. We have a pattern of back-to-back MVPs. Yes. We have Giannis in 2019 and 2020. Yeah. Jokic 2021 and just last year. I'm sensing that the script is pointing to 3 back-to-back MVPs.
Hey, I don't blame them. Hey, he deserves it.
I mean, he definitely deserves it. He's been putting up incredible numbers.
Yes.
So, like 33.1 points, 10.2, and 4.2 points, assists, and rebounds per game, respectively, against Jokic's 24.5, 11.8, and 9.8, and Giannis's 31.1, 11.8, and 5.7. All are fantastic statistics in their own right, but it's completely besides the point. Yeah. I believe that, he's been balling out as we have seen him do, both in the regular season and in this playoffs especially, and he's been putting up MVP caliber numbers as mentioned before, and he's had back-to-back. Giannis and Jokic have back-to-back MVPs, and I say it's time for a change, and we got that in Embiid. So, kudos to Embiid for winning MVP. So, with all that in mind, I conclude this show by saying my prediction: Embiid will win back-to-back MVP in 2024. You heard it from me. I'm calling it right here, right now. I don't know if I'll be wrong or not. We'll see. But we will find out on another day. So on that note, this has been Something Sporty on KSFS Radio. And coming up next is Radiohead with Noah. As he has some funky music awaiting us. So me, Eric, and
aka Jin,
we will catch you all
next
week for another episode of Something Sporty as we come closer to the finale of this series. So until then, we wish you all a great rest of your week, and we will see you all on the flip side. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.